Hi, this is John St. Clair, and I'm here with Pat Reynolds, and we're going to talk about an article or a chapter that she contributed to the Classroom Facilitator, a new book by Dr. Suzanne Houff here at University of Mary Washington. Pat, thank you for being with me today.
Well, thank you for asking me to be with you today.
Your chapter is about English language learners. It's titled, Where Do These Children Come From? And I noticed in reading it, one of the things that popped out at me was that statistic that you mentioned early in the chapter about the year 2015. We should be expecting possibly 30% of our students to come from homes that are not English language speaking homes. And you say we shouldn't perceive that as a problem, but an opportunity. What did you mean?
Well, I see this as an opportunity myself, and I think we are coming to understand the wonderful opportunity that we have with these children that are coming to us either from other countries or children who are actually born right here in the United States into homes where English is not the primary language of the home. As we move our nation into more of a global society, into more global thinking, we're going to need these children, and we definitely need to be very proactive right now in recognizing the role they're going to play in the future to our nation, and what skills and strategies they bring to any kind of an environment where our needs will be met through this global community that we now serve in our public school system.
It really is an exciting time, isn't it?
It's a very exciting time, especially if you are looking at the future and seeing that we will all be much more connected. The information age has given us a huge opportunity here to understand and to be understood by more people throughout the world, and people are on the move.
Right.
Yeah.
Speaking of understanding, you mentioned some myths about second language learners that I think are pervasive. One of the myths you mentioned is things were different in older times. That, for example, when I was beginning my classroom teaching experience in the early 1970s, immigrants came to the United States, and of course the myth is, and they made it, so these children should be able to make it too.
Times were different. The technology isn't what it was today. There wasn't such a focus on reading. Back in those days, you only really had to achieve a 3rd or 4th grade reading level to be very functional within the society. You could do most whatever you needed to do at about the 4th grade reading level. But we now have technology. We have training manuals that are no longer written in the 4th grade reading level. Everything has kind of shifted up toward the 8th, 9th grade reading level. And so the difference is that now you have to rely on those literacy skills more than you did back in the early 1920s, early 1900s. And consequently, it isn't the same, and it's not going to be the same. The experience is a very, very different experience. We're asking people to do more and move into other sectors of the society other than just manual labor.
Yeah, you mentioned the contrast between the terms fluency and functional literacy.
Right. Right. And you know, becoming functional is very easy, and most of our students achieve that functional literacy. But on the other hand, the society is now asking for us to provide them with people who are fluent, which means that they will have those opportunities available to them in the future. And that's where the task comes in, because it's academic skills that have to be developed.
In terms of the school child, You use the term, I think, playground language or something like that. So is that kind of like functional literacy, but doesn't give them the full fluency they need to learn rapidly?
Exactly. We know that we have two dynamics going on with any language learner that we have in the classroom. The first one is known as the basic interpersonal communication skills, or BICS. We also call that playground language. And that can be developed over a 2 to 3 year period. But that's not where language development stops. It is what allows the child to then move forward and to make friends and to function within our schools. But actually achieving in our schools requires another component of the language dynamic, and that's known as cognitive academic language proficiency. And that cognitive academic language proficiency sometimes can take up to 10 years to develop.
Another one of the myths that actually made me mad when I read it is the myth that sometimes these children that are second language learners are perceived to have a learning disability, when really all they have is a different language.
That's been a common problem in the public school system. If the child wasn't achieving at the level that the class was achieving at, there must be something wrong with them. We look at these children from a deficit perspective. And when you look at someone from a deficit perspective, you're going to find a problem. Right. You're going to see that that's an issue. Well, in effect, these children really don't have a problem. They need the gift of time. They need time to develop this language. It's no different than what we have going on in our foreign language classrooms in the United States. We're not expecting someone to learn French in a year. But we are expecting second language learners to achieve and take standardized tests within a year.
Wow.
So in the grand scheme of things, yes, they do look like they have a deficit. And that then leads to people thinking that there's a problem and placing them up for special education services when in effect the child really just needs the gift of time.
Yeah.